Hello everyone. So for my example, I'll be using my current workplace, Romer's Catering. So for the power structure of Romer's Catering, it's a hierarchy. We have guess he's a CEO who owns the franchise and all the buildings, and then managers that manage each of the buildings, and then cleanup crew and servers. So top employees are usually people who have been there a while, long enough to know how to pretty much do all the cleaning duties and all of the serving duties, and can manage pretty well on their own, even managing events by themselves. And usually they have a lot of knowledge about what they're doing and can help others in case a manager isn't there. Um, I think I am one of these employees. I've been there for almost a year and I know how to do almost everything. I can manage pretty well by myself, and usually other employees who are either younger than me or less experienced than me look up to me in case they have a questions or need to know how to do something or need help. Um, so communication between higher ranking employees like the managers and the lower ranking employees like me, so the servers and the cleanup crew, is pretty pretty informal. Usually we have our boss or our manager text us six schedules, and sometimes she'll text us just out of her own intuition about other things. Usually we address them by their first name, so it's not very formal at all. We have very open communication between each other, so it's a very informal communication pattern. Work days are different. So we have serving days. So we have parties like wedding receptions or graduation parties. They usually start whenever the family or the hosts want to start them, and that can range from like anytime during the day or afternoon. And we have cleanup days, which usually start around 12 o'clock and end around 5 or 6, depending on how much we have to clean and what we have to set up before we have another party or event. Usually, if people arrive early or late, it on a cleanup day, it doesn't really matter too much. It's usually a little bit more relaxed on those days. On event days, though, if you're late, it's looked down upon because we need as many people as we can get on those days because it gets pretty hectic. So if someone isn't there, they're usually in trouble if they don't get there like within like maybe 5 or 10 minutes, unless they have a good excuse, like something happened, like their car broke down or something happened in their family and they can't be there that day. See, so it usually depends on what kind of happens to them before they decide to not show up to work or they're late. So the dress code is different for both days as well. If you're working an event, we have black collared shirts that we wear, black pants, dress shoes. We look very formal because we're serving people and we want to look good while doing it. On cleanup days, it's usually whatever casual wear. For sure, no tank tops because people still might come in to see the venue, and you don't want to have someone in a tank top that looks kind of weird. Usually, if people have questions, they ask fellow employees. Like, I'll ask I'll ask another question from another employee if I need help cleaning something, or need to make sure I put out the right utensil for serving a certain dish. Or you can ask your manager, but really anyone knows the answer to the questions. If you for sure need an answer, you'd ask a manager. Usually we want to use appropriate language, so no cursing, no profanity. If we need to speak to, technically they're not customers, but people at the venue that we're serving, you want to speak formally and not casually like you would with other employees or maybe your manager. Socializing during both serving events and cleanup days is acceptable because you need to have good communication between all your employees at the same time, or else things will not run smoothly. And cleanup days are very relaxed because there's mostly just to clean. You can talk, you can sometimes goof around a little bit, but it's not encouraged to goof around. But talking, is allowed. Usually we have good conversations when we clean because it gets pretty quiet in there, and that usually is uncomfortable, so people like to talk. Workplace culture at Rummers is fairly relaxed. Usually it's not very formal at all unless we're doing an event. We want to, be perceived as formal as possible whenever we're doing events, so that people will think of us highly and possibly want to book another event with us. But usually we're very relaxed, and that leads to a lot of, good relationships forming within the Roamers community, because a lot of the people we employ are usually high school students. There are a lot of adults there, but at least at Greenville's location, we have a lot of high school students, and if they were to jump right into a very formal situation and workplace, they probably wouldn't adjust as well as they would as with a place that's, much more relaxed and friendly towards them. So in conclusion, Roamers has a very relaxed workplace culture.